The movie unfolds against the backdrop of post-World War II Denmark, delving into the challenging aftermath of German occupation. Sergeant Carl Leopold Rasmussen, a central figure, experiences a surge of anger upon witnessing a German prisoner carrying a Danish flag. This incident sets the stage for the film's exploration of the complexities of revenge, nationalism, and the personal toll of war. The German prisoners, having served in the British Parachute Regiment, are given the dangerous task of clearing landmines from Denmark's west coast. The training sequences not only highlight the technical challenges of this perilous job, but also underscore the psychological trauma faced by both the captors and the captives. The movie skillfully weaves in moments of camaraderie and conflict among the characters. Carl's evolving relationship with the German prisoners becomes a focal point, showcasing the human capacity for both cruelty and compassion. The dynamics within the group fluctuate as they navigate the treacherous terrain of defusing landmines. The narrative takes unexpected turns, such as the tragic death of Wilhelm, the mistreatment of the prisoners, and the nuanced depiction of post-war scarcity, adding layers to the characters' experiences. Themes of survival, guilt, and the impact of war on the human psyche are subtly interwoven into the storyline. The film also explores the broader societal context, depicting the challenges of rebuilding a nation in the aftermath of conflict. Captain E.B. Jensen's suspicions and conflicts with Carl add a political dimension, reflecting the tensions prevalent in a country recently liberated from occupation. In a poignant twist, the movie examines the blurred lines between justice and vengeance. Carl's internal struggle and the moments of compassion he extends towards the German prisoners contribute to the film's exploration of moral ambiguity in the wake of war. The scenes at the beach, where the soldiers find brief respite, provide a stark contrast to the danger they face daily. Moments of levity, such as the football match, offer glimpses of normalcy amidst the chaos of mine clearance. As the story reaches its climax, with the survivors completing their mission, the revelation that the four boys are sent to another minefield amplifies the urgency and desperation. Carl's act of defiance, driving them towards freedom, serves as a powerful statement on individual agency in the face of bureaucratic indifference. The film concludes with glimpses of the visible and hidden scars of a long war. With its multifaceted characters and complex storytelling, the film is a fascinating exploration of the human condition in the aftermath of one of the most tumultuous periods in history. People from all over the world have commented on this car. What would you say? There's a weird double-edged sword going on here. Though I can't blame the Danish for being so cruel to the Germans so soon after the war ended, it's difficult in this PC world of 2017 to see this happening. Denmark forces German soldiers to clean up their mess, a series of beaches infected with their landmines, before they can go home. Making this task even crueler is the soldiers doing it don't look old enough to smoke a cigarette. It was a very honest look at the aftermath of war. The Danish military were treating the Germans worse than dogs, though Germany deserved it for the part they played in we. Land of Mine is a focus on humanity, as one Danish commanding officer must find this with a group of German boys he commands like they were slaves. Land of Mine was at times hard to look at, especially when these kids were getting blown up, a little too real on how landmines work. One minute you're there, the next minute you're gone. Sometimes you saw the explosion coming, and then they surprise you with one you didn't. It strangely added to the drama. Land of Mine was an interesting look on what it takes to turn the other cheek and forgive the enemy. Zandvliet's direction exhibits terrific restraint from start to finish, and even more admirable is how he handles the characters' their arcs. Without choosing a side, he puts believable people on screen and keeps all their human attributes intact, whether they are Danish or Germans. And while the hostile nature of the former against the latter is understandable, What the Danish authorities forced them to do is equally inexcusable. Shot at historically authentic locations, the entire picture is splendidly photographed, and the era of Denmark recovering from the war is wonderfully captured by its desaturated amp, earthy color tones. Camera work is handheld static amp, expertly controlled for the most part, and allows the scenes to play out at their desired pace, but the longer it lingers on the diffusing process, the more suspenseful it becomes, and majority F the time ends on a heartbreak. Editing is skillfully carried out, for every single minute of its 112-hour narrative is accounted for amp, is relevant to the plot. Every sequence on the beach is compelling amp, handled with patience, and every explosion or casualty reverberates with the audience amp. The impact of it is deeply felt. The film does feel longer than its runtime, but it is relentlessly gripping till the end. And further enhancing its grim aura is the poignant score that always surfaces on time. Coming to the performances, Land of Mine features an incredibly committed cast in Roland Emmeler, Louis Hoffman amp, others, with Hoffman impressing the most. Emmeler is in as the sergeant overseeing the mine-clearing operation and expresses his character's inner conflict brilliantly, while Hoffman plays one of the young boys performing the fatal, endless task of diffusing millions of buried mines with stunning balance, and the scenes between the two are its main highlight. On an overall scale, Land of Mine not only ranks amongst the best films of its year, but is one of the finest films to come out from cinema of Denmark. Incessantly human, powerfully moving amp, making a strong statement about what makes us human amp, why it's even more important to stay as one in times of bitter conflict. This Danish masterpiece is an extremely riveting example of its genre that treads a difficult path. Amp is utterly discomforting at times, yet manages to fully redeem itself in the end. An essential viewing by all means, this Danish masterpiece comes very highly recommended.